Good evening, everyone. Can everyone hear me okay? Okay. Ready, Peter? Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight again. Seems like we've been having so many meetings lately, but we're getting so close. So tonight our meeting is mainly about the EID document. I'd like to go over that's been published. It's about 80 pages. So we're going to go over kind of the general findings of that and what are milestones that have been completed and what we're looking forward to in the near future. So tonight we're going to, the purpose of the meeting, of course, is to talk about our Pahala large capacity cesspool closure and how we're going to get to that end game there, closing that gang cesspool. The quick recap of the AOC wastewater options, which we've been going over, seems like every meeting that we've been here at. We'll do a quick recap of that, as well as the advantages and some of the disadvantages of each option. An overview of the environmental information document, community feedback on EID and AOC presented wastewater options. So at any time during this meeting, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. We have our consultants here with us, EPI, there are the IWS experts. We also have Mark Grant here. He's the project coordinator for the entire AOC project for both Pahala and Nalehu, very knowledgeable on our wastewater treatment plant options. We have Kelly here. She is our coordinator as well. She has done the new website. So if you want to visit our new website, it's pretty amazing. And we're building on it, right, Kelly? So it's going to get even better, but it's a lot more user friendly. Peter Sir, of course, he's the backbone to our office, keeps everything together. I'm Brenda Yokepa-Moses. I'm the Deputy Director for Department of Environmental Management. We have Ramsey Mansour. He's joining us online this evening. And we're also going to record this meeting so the people that weren't at the meeting and also our partners EPA can listen to any concerns that you guys have, and we have it available on the website. So, okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into tonight's agendas. As you can see, we have milestones, next steps, and of course our resources, questions. And so the purpose of this meeting tonight is the general overview of the project milestones and the status thereof, discuss the draft environmental information document, and seek any community input in regards to that draft, allow community members the opportunity to provide additional feedback or questions on the treatment alternatives also that were described in the preliminary engineering report. And of course, allow community members the opportunity to give oral and written testimony. Members will be allowed to provide both during this meeting. And we encourage you, if you haven't turned in the surveys, I think most of you that are in the room that given a survey have turned it in. But again, if you have family members or neighbors, if you run into them and they haven't turned in their surveys, we encourage them to do that. The EID, of course, we welcome all comments from the community. Even if you're not part of the gang cesspool or this project, it is gonna be an impact for our environment in this community. So we welcome any feedback or questions that anybody has in regards to the environmental document. Okay, so our milestones, as you can see up there, I won't verbally go over all of them, but you know, the feasibility report, preliminary engineering report, and right now we're at the draft environmental information document. All of those we have met our deadline and we are charging forward. We anticipate a revised draft environmental document early of 2024, which will have a preferred selected option and will allow the community to say, oh, that's the option they're choosing, and give feedback, have any questions or comments during that. But it's important that we get those surveys back so we can look at all of the questions that you guys have and also your preference. So please turn those surveys in if you haven't done so yet. All right, and then the environmental document, is due January 27th, 2024. And that environmental document could be an EA, EIS, or something in between. Then we have an implementation plan, and hopefully the closure July 21, 2026. Right around the corner. It's only taken us about 25 years to get here. Yeah, so public engagement status, you guys are probably sick of seeing me up here, but we think it's important that we be here. Whether or not people show up, we're here for you guys to ask questions. You guys know where I live here in Pahala. I'm always available, but I also have an office in Hilo. You can call us. Mark Grant has been getting quite a few questions, so that's good. We've had some calls that have come in. So any of those options are available for you guys if you want information. We're also willing to do Zooms or small community engagements. If you have some kapuna that don't want to get out to these community meetings, let us know and we'll come down and do some afternoon meetings or via Zoom, whichever works for you guys. So anyway, here's the list of all the things that we've done thus far. Quite a few meetings that we've had, both Na'alehu and Pahala. As we're getting into our Pahala project, all of our meetings that have to do with Pahala will be in Pahala. Na'alehu will be on a little bit of a different timeline behind Pahala. So this project will be, all of our meetings that pertain to Pahala will be in Pahala moving forward. And then anticipated public engagement. Moving forward, we have our current EID closes for comment on December 29th. So if you guys have any comments, please submit those comments regarding the environmental document. County intends to revise this document early 2024 that will tentatively identify a preferred option. And that will take into consideration all the surveys that we got back and the environmental information document, which Mark, I think it's an 80-page document, and Mark basically said that in a quick synopsis that the environmental impact is minimal for either of our options, which is good news. So, but if you have time, you can read that. It's available at the libraries. We also have a copy here if you want to borrow or check it out. You're welcome to do that, and also online. Okay, and then we have new written public comment period after we do the preferred option reveal. We'll have a new public comment period opening up for anyone that has any questions or comments regarding that preferred option. And then the new Pahala revised EID document with tentative preferred options that will be announced. District-wide meeting in Pahala. We're required by the AOC to have at minimum two meetings, February, I believe August, that are required. We've been having much more than that, and if the February meeting, if we don't have any new information to provide at that meeting, we may defer it till we have more information. Want to make sure that when we come in front of the community that we have new information to give you, and it's not just trying to meet a deadline. So that's going to be tentative, and we'll announce that date when it happens. The final EID will comply with the state and federal environment review court requirements and provide replies to community comments. For this projects, we may need to have certain funding opportunities. So we want to make sure that we do all the cross-cutters so we're eligible for any funding opportunities that come in front of us. More public community meetings will be announced as required by the AOC. We're not going to get into too much detail on this slide, but as you guys know, in all of the meetings that we've had, we've talked about the 4 options. Option 1 was the package plant with a new collection system. Option 2 was the package plant connected to the existing collection system. Option 3 was the individual wastewater system, which is referred to as IWS, maintenance contract model, and then the 4A and B was the same, but they had either one under the operating permit model, which would be a county project that we would maintain, or the voucher program, which individuals could receive a voucher, hire their own licensed contract, and manage their property in that installation of the IWS. We have all of those options. Oh, Peter's poster fell down, but we have all of those options posted in the back of the room for you guys to look at and ask questions about. Also the maps for your homes in the back of the room. Once we have this formal presentation over, our consultants and all of our staff will be back there to entertain any questions that you might have, and you're welcome to look at those in more detail. Okay, and then we've talked about the advantages of the Pahala treatment options and the disadvantages. And this is also on our website, and in one of our presentations we had, there was printed out the advantages and disadvantages. And so option 1, 2, 3, 4, A and B, they kind of tell you on each option what the advantages and disadvantages are. And I think, Peter, the pluses are the advantages. If you look at the red X's, that represents disadvantages. And so you guys can refresh yourself on that. If you have any questions, we can go into detail about that. If you guys have any questions at this moment, please. You have one? Okay, go ahead. Lower capital costs to the county. So yeah, so we know that the wastewater treatment plant, the infrastructure putting it in is going to be a larger capital cost for the county. But then again, we can add the remaining of the community at a later date by expanding that facility. So there's definitely some pros and cons. And like we talked about before, this capital cost will not be spread among this town. It's something that we'll get bonded for. We'll use bond money, state revolving fund money, which is pot from the state to, and we're also considered a disadvantaged community because of our location and population and our earnings. So there is some grant forgiveness in those loans, which will be nice. So no, like this project won't affect the overall rates. Everybody in the county will pay that same sewer charge. And we are doing a rate study. It has nothing to do with Pahala infrastructure going in, but it's an overall rate study that will evaluate the current money you're paying, the bi-monthly fees, and like all utilities, we expect them to go up. But it won't be a reflection of this. So if you choose the most expensive system for this community, your monthly bills will not be affected by that. Yeah, so. Okay, so we're always here to answer questions about that. The important information tonight is the environmental information document as it was just published. And even though we have a small group tonight, we ask that you use the microphones because we are recording them, so the benefit of the people that are listening can understand your question, as most people have the same questions, so it's good to memorialize that. The environmental topics covered in the EID, we kind of went over that in detail in a few meetings that we've had, but it's listed on the board, and they, go from anywhere from the climate to human health and safety. And if you have a chance to go through that environmental information document, we're lucky to say it looks like any of the options that we choose have a very low environmental impact, which is good to know.
Overall beneficial sort of assessments.
Speaking to the microphone. What is an environmental information document? And we went over this as well. An EID is an analysis of environmental impacts of the proposed project alternatives, including the no action alternative. So it took into consideration all of our selections 1 through 4A and B, and they evaluated the impact that either one of those would have on our community. And so the feedback on the wastewater treatment option, it's due back December 29th. So you guys still have a few more weeks. Out of 111 out of 174 households which represents 64%, have not returned the surveys as of this week. So we got some, but we didn't get an all. And we were hoping for more. So if you, like I said, if you see your neighbors, your friends, family, and if they haven't returned that survey, give us a call. And we can get those surveys from you or have them drop it off in Pahala if they don't want to mail it in or what have you. But it's important we get those surveys back because once the preferred option is chosen, we're going to need to start moving dirt and start to actually make it happen. So this is the time for you to voice your opinions or questions. Okay. So our next steps for Pahala, we continue to be available, as I said, for talk story sessions, Zoom, questions and answers at your convenience. December 29th, we will conclude the public comment period for the draft EID. We will issue supplemental update to the draft EID that will indicate a tentative preferred option. We're looking forward to that date because once that date comes, we'll have another open period for you guys to make comments. But once that option is chosen, we're going to start making movement and we're going to ask that the community help us get through this process. Once the preferred option is chosen and if it's a sewage treatment plant, it's going to involve road construction. It's going to involve some challenges within the road, but once it's done, it'll be done, right? It'll add value to your properties. The whole island of Hawaii at 2050, everyone that has a cesspool will have to be converted and most of them will have to do it on their own. So this community is unique. So it may seem like a challenge or inconvenience at this point, but it actually can get you in compliance before many others, and you won't have to worry about it. And more importantly, our children or grandchildren won't have to worry about it. So let's work together. If we need to, get onto your property, get an easement worked out, let's get it done so we can get these cesspools, the gang cesspool disconnected and get everybody on to a sewage treatment plant or IWS, whichever that preferred option is. Okay, so we have resources, county-wide website and online documents is available. We do have a new website, like I said. I'm very proud of the work that Kelly and Peter and others have contributed to that website. It's much more user-friendly. And so if you have a chance to visit that, please do so. We also have the DEM YouTube channel and also EPA post all of our documents as well, especially the ones that are in relation to the AOC. The Pahala draft EID, like I said, is available at the Pahala library. We also have some at the back of the room. You're welcome to take those with you if you'd like to read them. And it's also on the website. And then Peter doesn't have that much to do at his desk, so we can always make him make copies of it for you and mail it out. Okay, so your input is valuable. We'll be here for a while tonight. We have EPI, raise your hand, representatives of EPI here. Don't be shy, raise your hand, there they are. Mark Grant, our project coordinator, he's here, raise your hand, Mark. Oh, Francisco Villa, everybody knows him. He's here as well. Diana with our Mellon Lacey with our corporation council. She's driven in all the way from Hilo, and as well as Kelly Hartman. She'll be here. If you want to look at the website, I'm sure she'll be proud to show that to you. And then Peter, be taking surveys of my banana bread in the back of the room. But anyway, help yourself. There is banana bread that I made back there, some fruits and some other goodies, some drinks, and so we have plenty of it, so take some with you. Here you go. Go ahead, man.
Sorry.
So I was just wondering, so like, when you say like no, the monthly rate will not affect or change. So like right now we pay like, I think it's $50 per house every so many months. is that gonna, when you say it's not gonna
Yeah,
change?
it won't be affected by this project. This project comes in at $10 million. We're not gonna spread it among the household members here to divvy up that. Our rates are reflected island-wide. So if Pepe Kale is paying $52 a month, so is Pahala. So it doesn't have to do with each community and how much their system cost. We are doing a rate study because we've had, I think our last 5 years, we've had a general slight increase. Every 5 years, we do this rate study, and that's undergoing right now. So like all utilities, we inspect an increase. We don't have that rate study back, but that will come in front of the public. You guys will have public comments, and again, it'll be island-wide. So it won't be specifically to Pahala because you're doing an improvement project. It's a different pot of money for that, so, yeah.
I guess I asked because I'm helping my dad right now, and so when I started helping him, it was like $30 a month, and then it went to 40, and now it's 50. So like with this project, I'm just thinking that it's not gonna be
Yeah.
staying at 50, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I mean, to me, yeah, I hear you. $52 is a lot, every other, I think it's every month, but they bill you bi-monthly, yeah.
Right, but
Oahu
but it's
pays,
probably not gonna stay at 52 with this project.
yeah, see, it's two separate things. So this project will have nothing to do with that rate study. The rate study will be the O&E for island-wide, so it'll be a gradual increase, and we don't know what that looks like yet. We're waiting for the rate study to come back. Once it comes back, there'll be meetings to let the entire communities know, because like I said, it won't be different for Pahala because you're doing a capital improvement project. It will be separate from that. Yeah.
And the other thing is the other option, I think it was option 4, if you choose to have the county come in, install the septic tank and all of that, they choose where it's gonna go.
So we'll have our consultants there look at each individual lot. There'll be some challenges probably for some lots, the size of the lot, the infrastructure that's built on that lot. Do you have a huge mango tree that's on that lot? There's certain setbacks that you'll have. So it's not like a cookie cutter question to that answer, because every individual lot will be different. So they'll come in to look at your lot and they'll say elevation here, cleared area here, this makes the most sense to have it and the most direct connection. So that's where EPI will be in the back of the room. Maybe you can show them your lot and they can kind of give you a better an idea. But yeah, that will be a very detailed conversation, and it'll be individual conversation with each homeowner's lot, because like I said, it could be different challenges for each lot.
So like, for example, if you do have like a cesspool already in a certain area, but other parts of the property is occupied with other dwellings or sheds or anything like that, garage, like where?
Yeah,
Would it take the place of the cesspool or no, right?
if they can, because we also want the least path of least resistance, right? So we don't want to destroy any buildings if we don't have to. So it depends on where that lateral is going to be lining up, where your cesspool currently is. So yeah, we could definitely use the same space as a cesspool, if it makes sense to do so. So yeah, maybe
Brenda,
if you have time
uh,
after this, that you could go in and in the back of the room and kind of show where your lot is. Ramsey, did you have something to say?
yeah, Brenda, remember this is a gang cesspool. So she should not have a cesspool on her current parcel.
Unless
So,
she's an additional home, right? If she's
right, but it won't, if even additional home, that will be a separate, that's individual cesspool. So this administrative order of consent only covers the people that connected to the gang cesspool.
and the 65
And they
additional
should
homes.
not, well, I don't know how that was yeah, if she has an additional home in the same lot with a cesspool, I don't know how she got a permit for it, to be honest with you, but if they have an additional house with an extra individual cesspool, all that's gonna be if it's a waste treatment plan, um, I guess individual, because that mean we have to extend 2 laterals.
Are you saying that you have additional home? I don't think you're saying that.
No, no,
Yeah,
no,
I
I'm
think she's
just
just
saying
throwing it
that,
out there. Yeah.
the property that we're talking about, it's a small property.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And we
Right.
have like a driveway, we have a shed in the back, an extra garage. And so I'm just thinking that the only place where this could go would
is where the
be,
existing cesspool is.
yeah.
Yeah, but you should not, that's what I'm saying. If your house already connected to the gang cesspool, you should not have an individual cesspool on your lot.
Okay, I see.
You see what I'm saying? Because you shouldn't have one, because it's connected to the gang cesspool that serves the entire community.
Okay,
And I think we'll look at your house in the back, whether you're connected currently to a gang cesspool, or are you one of those homes that have been notified that you are within the project area, so you've been getting the letters. So we'll look at your house, we'll look at your lot in the back to see which case scenario that is.
okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Right. And also just to clarify, to to all people that involved, please take the time to review the option pros and cons. For the sake of transparency, Brenda's right. Well, this project is not going to impact your current rate fee, but the rate study that the department is working on currently, it would impact the rate study, your rate fees. So look at the options, see the pros and cons, advantages and disadvantages. And if a cost and an issue of rate fees and what have you, because I have heard the same comments in the prior presentation for Nalehe too. We understand the community, most of the community members do live on social securities and they so limited. And we just wanted to be as transparent as we can with you on this project. And that's why we made a list of advantages and disadvantages so we could hear you out and see what project or what option you guys would prefer out of the 4 options. Some may continue charging you the monthly fees with the waste treatment plan, and that potentially is going to go up countywide. Is not just because of your area or the projects that we try to construct, but we doing rate study for the entire county. The people that connected into a sewer, they're going to be impacted. The people in septic tanks, we're not going to charge them because we don't oversee their system. So I just, please take the time, ask the questions tonight with our staff, our consultants, so they could explain to you based on your property, and they could give you more information so you guys could make the wise decision that benefit you or your dad or, the person that lives on the property.
Thank you, Ramsey. Okay, so at this point, we're going to go ahead and have our County of Hawaii representatives go in the back of the room. They're going to be available for questions if you want to look at the map and see where your house is, whether you're currently connected to the gang cesspool or if you have an individual cesspool that you're currently under the project area. We're welcome to do that. We have plenty of time. There's plenty of refreshments. So please, let's adjourn this meeting and do the in-person talk story in the back of the room. Thank you.